Imagine this. Midnight in ancient Egypt. Torchlight dances across cold sandstone walls. In the long, silent corridors of a magnificent temple, a lone figure stands on a terrace, gazing out over the nation she built. This is a queen, a pharaoh, and she knows that tonight the shadows are coming for her legacy. History is about to try and wipe her name from stone, but one woman's defiance will echo through millennia. Today, we tell the story of Hatshepsut. The queen history tried to erase. She was born into the heart of Egyptian royalty, a princess of the powerful 18th dynasty. But her true moment of reckoning wasn't her birth. It was her bold assertion of power. For centuries, the land of the Nile had been ruled by mighty pharaohs, men whose names were known from the vast deserts to the distant seas. And then came Hatshepsut, daughter of a great king, wife to his successor, and eventually pharaoh in her own right. How did this happen? After her husband, King Thutmose II, died, the throne passed to his young son, a mere child. As the boy's stepmother and aunt, Hatshepsut stepped in as regent, the power behind the throne. This was a traditional role for a queen, but Hatshepsut wasn't traditional. She didn't just want to whisper advice from the sidelines. She wanted to rule. So she did something audacious, something unprecedented. Calmly and boldly, she began to adopt the full regalia of a pharaoh. She was depicted wearing the traditional kilt, the crowns of Upper and Lower Egypt, and even the ceremonial false beard, a symbol of pharaonic power. She wasn't just a regent anymore. She was claiming the ultimate authority, a position custom had always reserved for men. To justify this, she declared herself the divine daughter of the god Amen, proclaiming that he had willed her to be the rightful king. And what a king she was. Her reign, which lasted for over 2 decades, was not one of war and conquest, but of peace, prosperity, and incredible architectural achievement. She reopened trade routes that had been closed for generations, most famously launching a grand expedition to the distant land of Punt. Imagine the excitement as ships returned to Egyptian shores, laden with treasures never seen before: myrrh trees, exotic woods, incense, and wild animals. This trade brought immense wealth into the kingdom, which Hatshepsut used to fund one of the most ambitious building programs Egypt had ever seen. Her legacy is literally carved in stone. She commissioned hundreds of construction projects throughout Egypt. At the great temple complex of Karnak, she erected 2 magnificent, towering obelisks made from single blocks of red granite, so tall they were said to pierce the heavens. But her crowning achievement, her masterpiece, is her mortuary temple at el-bahri, a stunning structure of terraced colonnades cut directly into a sheer cliff face. It stands today as a testament to her vision and power. It was a temple that broke all the architectural rules, a wonder of the ancient world that still takes your breath away. For 22 years, she ruled as a successful and beloved pharaoh, bringing stability and wealth to her people. But history is often uncomfortable with women who break the mold. After her death, something sinister began to happen. A systematic campaign was launched to erase her from memory. Throughout Egypt, her images were methodically chiseled away from temple walls and monuments. Her name was scraped out of cartouches, replaced by the names of her father, her husband, or her stepson, Thutmose III, who succeeded her. The magnificent statues she had erected were torn down, smashed into thousands of pieces, and deliberately buried in pits. It was an attempt at a complete and total annihilation of her memory. They didn't just want to forget her. They wanted to pretend she had never existed. Why? Why this desperate attempt to erase such a successful ruler? Historians have debated this for decades. Some believe it was pure resentment from her successor, Thutmose III, who had waited in the wings for years. While she ruled, perhaps he saw her reign as an illegitimate interruption of his own. Others suggest a more ideological reason. The ancient Egyptian worldview was built on order, on tradition, on meta, concept of balance and divine harmony. A woman ruling as a king was a radical disruption to that order. The priests and dynastic courtiers may have feared that her reign set a dangerous precedent. So, to restore the traditional patriarchal line of succession, They had to rewrite the narrative. They had to make the anomaly disappear, ensuring that future generations would only see an unbroken line of male kings. For centuries, their plan worked. Hatshepsut's name faded into obscurity, becoming little more than a whisper in the long annals of Egyptian history. Her magnificent temple remained, but its creator was a mystery. The broken statues lay silent, buried beneath the sand. She was a ghost, a lost queen. But stone, as it turns out, is harder to silence than they thought. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, archaeologists began to piece the puzzle back together. As they excavated her temple at el-bahri, they found thousands of fragments of her destroyed statues. Painstakingly, they began to reassemble them, like a giant, 3,000-year-old jigsaw puzzle. They deciphered the defaced inscriptions, uncovering her name beneath the ones carved over it. Slowly, painstakingly, the story of the lost queen re-emerged from the dust. The story of Hatshepsut resonates so deeply with us today because it is a powerful reminder of how fragile a legacy can be, and how easily history can be manipulated. It forces us to ask a difficult question. If a queen so powerful, so wealthy, so successful that she could build monuments that last for millennia could be so nearly erased, what about all the other women? What about the countless others whose stories were never even carved in stone to begin with? Her story is one of defiance. She defied tradition to claim power. She defied expectations by ruling in peace and building wonders. And even after her death, her legacy defied its own destruction. The very stones her enemies tried to use to erase her became the evidence that brought her back to life. Hatshepsut's reign shows us that leadership isn't about gender. It's about vision, courage, and the will to build a better world. She ruled, she built, she flourished, and, though they tried to bury her in silence, the stone would not lie. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey back in time. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel for more hidden histories, and let us know in the comments which historical figure you'd like us to uncover next. See you in the next video.